Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video. Now I haven't done a video for about a week now, so here we are. And this is probably going to be one of my most important videos I've made. Welcome to the truth if you haven't seen it already. We've got multiple episodes that you can go and watch if you haven't, so go and catch up on them before you come here. You can watch them in any order you like, but yeah, so you get the gist of the series. Basically we're going to tell the truth about a certain subject, and this time we're going to be doing the overall truth about Formula 1. Now we've done how David Croft loves Lewis Hamilton, and we've done Lewis Hamilton fans and all of this, but maybe we should look into Formula 1 itself. So we've looked at Bernie Ecclestone and we're going to start off in that sort of region. So let's think about Formula 1. At this point in Formula 1 we have got cars that sound like Hoovers. You know, they're going around the historic tracks and they sound like a utility appliance that that maids use and normal people have in their home. You know, Dyson could have a Formula 1 team. You know, the Dyson Easy Vac, whatever they call them, the one with the bowl, you know, one of them. And we can have one of them in Formula 1 because that's what Bernie Ecclestone wants. Because Bernie Ecclestone thinks, you know what, cars with V6 engines, they're really good. I mean, yeah, I like the bit of hybrid, but come on, it's Formula 1. You listen to the sound of a V6 and you listen to the sound of a V8. It's like, it's just so hot. It's like depressing to know that we will never get to. We won't get it. We're probably never going to get to hear it again unless Bernie Ecclestone pisses off out of Formula 1. The dick he is, you know, saying teams like Manor shouldn't be in Formula 1. You know, this is what Formula 1 has a massive issue at the moment. You look at the sport and it just seems to be that they want to get rid of people who haven't got enough funding and money. In their mind, they would love a team, just a grid, full of Mercedes, Ferraris and Red Bulls. You know, lots of money, lots of input, lots of speed. But that's not a reality because there aren't many people and companies and teams that can fund the sort of pricing that is in Formula 1. It's not cheap to run a Formula 1 team, hence why Manor are only just here. Manor Marussia, whatever you want to call them, are just on the grid, barely. But it's really depressing to know that they don't care about us in any way. Them wanting to get rid of some tracks, some historic tracks on the grid. You know, we're not going to have the German Grand Prix. It looks like Monza could be next. Imagine them tracks not being on the grid. That's just going to be depressing because we're going to have all these modern new tracks that are funded with money, and it just doesn't make sense. You know, you've got tracks like Austria and Sochi. They aren't historic tracks. I mean, Austria is one of the most boring tracks on the grid. There's no cornering, there's no excitement. I mean, at least Monza's not many corners, but I mean, it's got corners and it's historic and it's always has good racing because of the fact it has straights. Austria, there's no overtaking. And to be honest with you, Monaco is one of the worst Grand Prix in the history of Formula 1, and I don't care if that has. If there was one track that they were to get rid of, I wouldn't miss Monaco. It's not an exciting Grand Prix. Whoever starts pole will finish pole. Will finish first, sorry. There's no overtaking opportunities, and any overtaking opportunities, they'll be limited. There will always be red flags and safety cars. The race will never get going, and the only chance the team has got of scoring major points, really, is if a load of cars DNF. So like you saw that last season, Marussia got points at Monaco because every other car DNF'd. That's not what we want to see. We want to see high impact speed and good racing and nice battles going on throughout the grid. And for that, we need to have good race tracks. And I would rather them go for more, you know, the redoing racetracks, like, you know, have 2 races in, like maybe add a couple like redos, so you have Sao Paulo twice in a season. I wouldn't mind that because Sao Paulo always has some good racing and the driving's always good. Why don't we have 2 races like why don't we have Valencia back on the grid? I don't see the point in why we've lost the European Grand Prix and we've replaced it with Sochi, which is pretty much the same but worse. You know, Valencia was a great track and it was always had something going on. It was a street circuit, but it was a fast street circuit with overtaking opportunities. And it just doesn't make sense. Singapore, that's a pretty pointless race, to be honest with you. Does anyone really like the Singapore Grand Prix? Once again, limited overtaking opportunities, and when there are, you've got to really time it perfectly to do it, and there's nothing going on there. It's all about money with Formula 1, and this is the issue with most sports in the world now. You know, let's look at football, for example. If you don't have money, then you can't be successful. Manchester City have bought success with money, and so have Chelsea, and that's how the sport works. And you compare that to Formula Formula 1, you know, you need money to be successful, which I think is unfair in a way, but it's the reality of the world we live in at the moment. We don't have equality in life lots of times. When you look like in the 21st century, how on earth we can be in the situation we are. Like, you are watching this video on probably a decent computer, probably got a game console, or if you don't have a gaming console, then you probably are watching this and you have a decent PC, and yet there's an African child somewhere who's dying because they can't have a vaccination. And I mean, that's just the world we live in. So Formula 1 will never change, but Formula 1 needs to change. You know, sooner or later we're going to get to the point where, you know, Formula E, more people were excited for Formula E than Formula 1. And the fact Sebastian Vettel got on the top spot of the grid, you know, that was good. He won the race. That's just nice to see. Will it turn into anything? No. It won't. Nothing will happen. You know, the next race, Mercedes will dominate. We'll go on to the next few races, and Mercedes will dominate. Maybe Ferrari. You know, you look at last season. You know, Daniel Ricciardo got quite high up on the grid, and people thought, you know, that Red Bulls could be up there. You know, Daniel Ricciardo won races last season. Remember, nothing happened there. He was really nowhere near the championship push. But that's a different kettle of fish. You know, with Formula 1. You know, Mercedes shouldn't be as dominant as they are, but yet they are for some reason. I think there should be a cap. And to be honest with you, I don't understand why we can't just have all the... You know what I think would make more sense as a sport? We have Mercedes, Ferrari and Red Bull, and then there's, like, they have... I'd rather see Mercedes, Ferrari and Red Bull and then them have 8 drivers each. Then it would be close impact racing, it would be end-to-end stuff, you know, anyone could win it, it would be nice and tight. Obviously you'd have these lower teams which are going to be in the sport, but most people complain about the fact that Mercedes are winning, so why not have Mercedes, and then Mercedes have 3 different teams which are all pretty much exactly the same car, different drivers. They can call that, you can have Mercedes AMG Petronas, you can have McLaren Mercedes, and obviously now they're with Honda of course, but this is obviously a few years down the line. But you know, why can't we just have some form of closer racing? We're never going to get it because, of course, Formula 1 is all about that green stuff that is in your wallets and purses, and the little coins there, they mean nothing. You have to have a credit card or debit card that has lots and lots of money. You want more, the more zeros, the better in Formula 1. And I think that should be the motto. Formula 1 is coming to a city near you. Would you like to watch Formula 1? Well, you've got to have lots of zeros. Even to go and watch it, it costs a silly amount of money. And that's another issue. I'm going to the Silverstone Grand Prix again this year. And, you know, it's not going to be a pleasant experience for my parents' wallets. It will be a pleasant experience for me. But for my parents' wallets, it won't be a pleasant experience at all. They won't be enjoying... Obviously, in a way, you know, you pay for what you get. Like, people pay to go and watch football games and go shopping and all this. And, you know, Formula 1, if things cost money, you have to... That's a factor of life. Things cost money. But I can't see how they can just say, you know, with the sport having this much money, you know, how you are willing to charge so much money, because more and more people aren't going to want to watch Formula 1 within the near future. I can guarantee that. You know, people are going to choose to go and watch something, you know, a bit more exciting. Let's say British touring cars comes to town. People are going to want to watch that more than Formula 1. A, it's cheaper. B, you're probably going to get more action than Formula 1. And, just overall, there's no Bernie Ecclestone there, is there? But I'd like to know what you guys think. How would you fix Formula 1, and what do you think the main issues of Formula 1 are? Do you think Bernie Ecclestone is the main issue? Do you think the cars and the V6s are the main issue? Do you think the fact that Mercedes are dominating is an issue? That's a huge one, really. Or do you think that the tracks being slowly gone from historic to money-based is the big issue? So guys, tell me down below. Also tell me my next subject. You know, a lot of you wanted to see the Red Bull one, but I thought this might be a little bit better. You know, a lot of people wanted to see this, so tell me, what do you want next? We've got the choice of Red Bull. We can go and talk about, you know, anything you like. Will Ferrari ever be a world champion winning car again? And or we could do another fan. We could actually do another episode of Lewis Hamilton fans. So tell me what you want, and I will see you guys next time. And remember, leave a like. It does mean a lot to me. The more likes, the better. Can we hit, I don't know, let's hit 30 likes on this one as well. You guys have been going ham recently on these, and this is really really good for me, and I'm loving the support. And remember to subscribe. We've been getting a lot of subscribers recently, so if we hit, you know, if we can hit 650, just over the course of this spring, because we've been growing a lot of guys. So just remember to subscribe, share it around. If you think someone else might enjoy this video style and this commentary, then please tell them about it. You know, the expansion of this channel, the more people know about it, the more we can talk about, and the more we can get these issues out there. So leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.